Hey guys, Bob21 here, back with another YouTube video. Today, I am showing a time lapse and just showing the process of me making an art. This is gonna be an oil painting. I made my canvas by hand and all that good stuff. So that's just the starting part. Right now, I'm stapling on the canvas to the backing. Um, Pretty standard. I don't really do any special things. As here you can see me kind of sanding down the sides just so they don't um, protrude too much. I've noticed that in the past I've had really sharp edges that just look sketchy, like they could tear through. So in like a million years, maybe that'll save a painting. Here I'm kind of taking off the backing because this frame was originally really out of square, and it's still really out of square, but it was handmade. You gotta celebrate that, I guess. Not a skill issue. It was purposefully out of square. Um, Pretty much just stapling it all down. You can see me trying to straighten it out, but if you look at it close, like the corners, it's not square. Now I'm adding gesso. Using a squeegee I just got. This is the second time I've tried that, and definitely the best way to apply gesso. Um, I'm gonna be applying 3 layers to this and no sanding in between. Mostly because I'm lazy. I've never really sanded in between, and I don't see the need to sand in between, but that's because I like more painterly looking things. And there's also apparently a health concern with that, 'cause gesso dust is kind of sketchy. So I have my reasons, but mostly it's just I couldn't be bothered. I think that it doesn't really affect how my piece looks in the end anyways, because I kind of like the painterly look of it. But I try as hard as I can to make it smooth. I don't I haven't purposely left ridges in. Here you can see me digging a hair out of it. And unfortunately there is still a hair in the painting that got gessoed over. So that kind of bugged me a little bit. I don't know how I feel about a hair being in my painting that you can see. That seems to be pushing laziness too far. Even though I just missed it at the time. You can't really fix it once it's under the paint. Um, okay, I'm sketching this one out based off of a thing I did in my sketchbook. Um, it's abstract looking, kind of blobby. Um, I did notice using pencil. I am pretty new to oil paint, and this is the first time I used a pencil to kind of sketch it out. And I think well, I've done it before, but this is the first time I really noticed how much it shows through the paint if you're not using really thick paint. So I don't know if I need to be using less pencil strokes, like lighter ones, or if there is a better tool for this. I know I've used like an oil pencil, like a colored pencil, and I could imagine doing a lighter shade of one of those would work. But I'm kind of worried that how it interacts with the oil paint. I don't know if it would cause cracking or not in the future. Uh, so I'm just kind of winging it, trying to do the best practices, but really just winging it. This is probably like my 10th oil painting. Um, Hey, you just kind of go with the flow. Uh, Speaking of the flow, there's some ice fishing jigs, hooks, whatever the heck you call them. I like how that eye's on them. They're kind of goofy. Anyways, get to painting. Uh, for this one, I definitely use a lot of colors. I find that I kind of just use colors semi randomly. I know this is based off of a sketch, so they're not completely random colors, but I kind of like the look of colors. Maybe I'll get better with that in the future. Because I'm kind of assuming that just using all the colors isn't the best, but sometimes you just got to go for it. Use them all. Um, Kind of using whole colors here. There's not too much mixing. When I get to the second part of it, there is a little bit more mixing, but just starting off here, I'm using the whole standard palette. I don't know what the palette's name is, but it would be a standard palette that you use. Um, this is all Winsor and Newton, so whatever they give you. Um, Man, it's hard to talk for. This thing's 20 minutes long, and I had to talk through the whole thing, and I'm sorry people have to listen to this. So you can mute me if you want. Turn on some music and just not listen to this. That'd be kind of cool. Um, Now I'm working on some green. Finally got the palette knife out. That painting, still painting. I guess I can talk about AI. Ever hear of that? That's some cool shit. AI paintings are a thing. From my perspective as a hobbyist painter, I don't really see much competition with AI paintings because an AI painting isn't me actually making something, and that's why I make art. So no matter how good AI gets, it's not going to replace that feeling of making an art piece. And that's why I feel AI will not replace hobbyist painting. Um, for professional, those guys are screwed. If you're making art professionally and need it as a job, you're probably gonna have to adapt to use AI. Like I imagine there's just gonna be AI specialists that make art, and part of that is having an eye for art. AI can make a crap ton of different pieces of art, but if you're just some random guy looking, oh, that's good enough, then you're not gonna be as good as an artist who sees an AI art piece and is like, yeah, that's really good. You have to kind of have the eye, which I I don't know what exactly the eye entitles, but you just gotta see shit, I guess. I don't know who's qualified for that. I just know oil painting is kind of fun. Like I mentioned, I'm fairly new to it. I mostly just do sketchbook stuff now. I've been doing that for the past couple of years. Um, Mostly mixed media paper tools, colored pencils, pens, markers. I tried digital for a little bit, but that never caught on for me. Much more a fan of actually making art, like physical things, because that's just what feels best. No undo button, no zooming in for infinite pixels. That's what I like about it. Not downplaying um, uh, electronic art. I think that's great too. They just have a different skill set and have different freedoms. I guess like you aren't able to like for oil, for example, you can really layer that stuff on and have your art kind of three-dimensional. That's why I like it. That's pretty much the main difference I see with it is you can really make stuff just pop out, literally pop out. And that's kind of a I think you only notice if you're seeing it in person and you can get really close to it. Find it at if you go to museums and stuff, the real art piece always looks better than a picture of it. So that's cool. Um Back to the painting. Still painting it, man. The um Dude, I don't know what to say about this. It's just shapes, bro. I like it. I like how it looks. And I decided to record it just because I wanted to record it. And now I gotta talk over it because I can't just share a recording. Um, what else can I talk about? I should have prepared a slideshow in the background of this, just to have topics to talk about. I've been yapping 12 minutes. We're halfway there. Um, Leading lines. I feel this painting kind of has a interesting leading lines with it. Um, Much more obvious once it's done, but you can kind of follow. There's a positive section and a negative section of it. Like the colorful, I would argue is negative or positive. I guess it doesn't really matter. There's a lighter part and a darker part, and all the color is the darker part, and then the tan stuff stays lighter. And if you start at the top of it, your eye just kind of follows, at least my eye, follows the tan stuff down and then to the right, and you start going up, and you either loop back into the tan or you go into the color. And then you follow the color up, back down, to the left, back up, back down, and you're at the bottom again, and it kind of just keeps going back and forth and pushes you out of the tan into the color, back to the tan. So that's fun. So that's two techniques that have been used here. Leading lines and positive and negative space. Kinda use rule of thirds. Like the big yellow thing in the bottom is on a third, vertical third. Just kind of eyeballed. There's not really much room to play around here because it's just mostly an object. I'm a little frustrated with that where you make a landscape and you have so much more stuff to play with, But right here, I'm just painting a singular object, which has its drawbacks sometimes. It's hard to make it interesting um, because instead of looking at a lot of stuff, you're looking at a singular thing that, I don't know, it's missing depth maybe. Trying to critique my own art before it's even done. But that's kind of a thing. Like, I like critiquing my own art. Uh, I never call my own art bad. It could be better, but I'm never going to call it bad. I know starting out, I used to look at my really, really early stuff and just kind of hate on it. But now I look back and I never dislike my previous arts. I just kind of accept it for what it was. Different times, different skill sets. And it just makes me happy to look back at previous arts. I do keep all my sketchbooks and I have everything in like a filing cabinet. So if I'm bored some night and need inspiration or something, I just look through my old stuff. And that usually makes me happy because it reflects the time, especially to me. Like, I know how I was feeling when I made such art. You just kind of remember that and you recognize signs. So I don't know if other people can feel that about my art, but I know I do. And that makes me happy. And kind of fun about it is trying to imagine what other people are going to think about my art. Um, I never give away the secret. You gotta guess what I was thinking about it. Like, what was that guy making? Why'd he make that shape look like that? And I guess that's an important thing about art, because you making it is what it is. Something an AI will never have is being you making your art. And that's kind of what you have. If you don't have technical skills, you still have you. And you can make something. Um, so make art. Or not art. Make something. Do something that makes you happy. That's my life advice. Mm, um, other things that make me happy? Minecraft. You guys ever hear about Minecraft? That's a cool game. Uh, I kind of feel the same thing about that as art in a way. Nah, I'm pushing that tangent too far. I don't know what the hell to talk about. We're almost there. I know towards the end of this, my camera runs out of battery and I don't notice. So it cuts off. It's gonna cut off pretty soon. Um, Basically just adding this blue background. I'm a little upset with the background on this painting. I think it could be better. I'm not sure how. It's coming up soon. Can almost see. It's gonna cut off. Wait for it. Come on! There we go. Got a close up shot. Top. Top shot. Let's get that bottom shot. Ooh! And then full shot. And that's about what it is. Could it be different? Probably. Does it make me happy? Yeah. That's a good deal. I'd do it again. Would I change things about it? Maybe. But I'd have to make the whole thing again. So you just gotta like and subscribe. I don't know. Bye.